Kia ora, Couch Warriors whānau. Welcome to another episode of the Couch Warriors. What's going on? The winning streak has been broken. What are we going to do? Nah, I'm just joking. It's just one game. It's just one game. We're not going to go over the top about this. But before we get into this episode, I want to introduce my good friend and co-host, Richard, the bandwagon conductor laddie. That probably wasn't the intro that I wanted to do, but I don't know why I went with that, Richard. But how you going, bro?
Kia ora, John. Yeah, kia ora, Catch Rose whānau. Oh yeah, it is what it is, As Nelly Furtado once said, all good things must come to an end. The Warriors win streak is done. Hopefully it won't be the only win streak they have for the season. Obviously the game didn't play out how we saw it coming. I don't think anyone really saw that sort of score being put on the wires, but they just shows you that on their day in this great game, in this great competition, the NRL, anyone can beat anyone, can't they?
Too right. Well, we saw a few upsets. The Cowboys beating the Storm. I did not see that one coming along whatsoever. But look, the reason why I went with that intro, went for that drama queen intro, was because just through the week you see comments, people are like just so upset about it. It's like, come on, guys, it's one game, and you got to give credit where credit's due. And the Tigers just were the better team on the day. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean we played badly, but it's just they were just better on the day. But look, before we get into the game, bro, I just want to talk about just your week. How did everything? Because last week you mentioned how you're acting on the show and stuff. How'd that go?
Yeah, bro. Yep. So we got through that. We survived the week. Had 8 shows in total. A couple of late nights. So my league viewing hasn't been at its normal standards this sort of time in the season. But yeah, from this weekend on, I'll be watching as much as I can. I did manage to sort of peek a look here and there. I was backstage while the Warriors-Tigers game was on, so I was keeping an eye on the score and got Sky go up, and I had a few breaks. But so watched it a bit disjointed. Sort of was pretty up and about after that first 10 minutes. And then sort of checked the score just before half time, and I was like, oh, jeepers, what's happened here? So, but no, it was a good week, but no, definitely sort of just catching up on some sleep at the moment. How about you, bro? So you've been sort of gallivanting around the country?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm the same as you. I didn't get to watch the game live, and I hate that. Do you hate it watching it on a replay? I don't like it because even if you don't know the result, I just don't like the fact that you don't know what if the play has been done. You don't know there's something spontaneous is going to happen because the play has been done. I hate it, even if I don't know the score. But we had the Tuvalu Prime Minister come to visit New Zealand, so we were taking him around the country, some certain spots. He actually went to school in Christchurch. He did his 6th form, 7th form year. I think that's year 12 and 13, I think, in nowadays terms. He went there, so took him there. And
what school in Christchurch did he go to? What school in Christchurch?
St Andrews.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went there, and so he went to visit his old school. But then while we were in Christchurch, took him to the new stadium, the One New Zealand Stadium. So we got an exclusive tour before it opened to the public, and it was amazing. I was standing there, and we walked around, and we also went to the changing sheds and all that. But standing in the stands, no matter if you're at the bottom or at the top, you're going to get a good view. It looks awesome. The rectangular stadiums, we need one in Wellington as well. Just saying that out loud right now. We need one in Wellington as well because they're just much better for footy, They're much better for footy. I like the stadium. I like it. So yeah, then took him up to Auckland. A lot of stuff happening there, but then we took him to a Moana Pacifica game. That's the reason why I couldn't watch the game live, because we were at a Moana Pacifica game. Yeah, we took him there. Look, I'm not complaining. The crew at Moana Pacifica were amazing. They took care of us really well up there and stuff. The Prime Minister really well. So yeah, no, that it was. But the thing is, I just couldn't. I felt really rude if I'd put my phone out just to watch the game. Because I'm supposed to be technically supposed to be working, but I was trying to have a look at scores and stuff, and I saw us, go up 10-0. I was just thinking, oh, here we go, this is it. And then I look at half time, and there was the score suddenly just dramatically changed. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But then, I got to watch it later on, and that's got some talking points here. But did you get a chance to watch the game after your shows?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't watched the full thing. I watched bits here and there, and then I watched sort of some extended highlights, and I've read a lot. Read a lot of articles, read a lot of social media comments. So yeah, the doom
Yeah,
and gloom is deep in me with the social media comments in particular.
yeah,
You would have thought that, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we played horribly bad, but just
yeah,
just shows that you have to be playing for 80 minutes. There was that last, I think it was 7.5 minutes of the first half where they conceded 3 tries,
yeah,
and all of a sudden we were down. And after going up 10-0 early on, looked like we were sort of continuing on. Tana Boyd was setting up tries left, right, and centre.
yep,
And then they were unable just to keep that up. I think particularly probably in the forwards. I think we hadn't had the same dominance the last few weeks. There's obviously a few standouts as usual, but I felt like we really got and the forwards got pushed around a bit, and it showed on the scoreboard, and when you have a look through some of the stats of the game as well.
yep. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought that after I watched the replay again, and it just looked like we were pretty dominant through that first half. Position wise, everything. Every time we got the ball, we were able to run a full set all the way up to their red zone. We were always in attack, and the credit has to go to the Tigers for their defense, because even though we did score a couple of quick tries, in the first 15, 20 minutes, I think, and but they were able to still stop us, continuing that sort of rampage going on. But then, yeah, I think you're right. The turning point was when the Tigers had that sort of those back-to-back tries, and from there on, we just couldn't kick on from there. And again, credit to the Tigers for their defense, because I watched the second half, and it looked like it wasn't like we were slacking or something was going wrong. It was just we weren't able to get through. We weren't able to push through their defense. So credit for the Tigers for their defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you call it the start of the season, they'll make the top 8.
I
So
did.
part of
Yep,
that, they'll be all right. I think they're sitting third on the table at the moment. We're still sitting second, so
yep,
all's not lost. There's plenty more opportunities to pick up some points in the next couple of weeks. We're just having a
yep,
quick look through the stats of the game, and it was, we completed at 77%. I don't know if you remember the last couple of weeks I've sort of just been running through the completion rate. It was sort of sitting
yep,
up around the 87, 88% the last few
yep,
weeks. So
yep,
that's obviously just dropped a few bit. And it doesn't take much, but that can really have an effect on the game if you're dropping, losing the ball into an extra 2 or 3 sets a game, and especially in crucial areas. And then all the sort of attacking stats, we were sort of, the Tigers led us in all the attacking stats really. More 6-3 to line breaks, 46-20 tackle breaks. And then, as you go through, they had sort of more kicking meters, and just, made their kicks sort of work best. So it was obviously, there was a few talking points selection wise. Obviously, I did say last week when you asked for a hot take, I said Tuapiki will be in the fullback jersey. Wasn't
yep.
originally named, but was late in. I don't think he had a bad game, but he still needs to have that moment, like I think, and I'm sort of still waiting for it. I think he brings so much to that team, his effort, both sides of the ball. But in a game like that, there could have been a moment where he did something that turned it around. So he needs to have that moment if he's going to be able to keep that jersey. I know he is playing this week.
Yeah.
And then obviously Metcalf came back as well, and that was the big talking point. Everyone's telling him to go back to play New South Wales Cup, but
Yeah.
it's
just one game
classic,
in. It's just one. It's just one game. Yeah, it's just one game,
it's
right?
so funny, because everyone's like, "Oh, we need him back," like he was so good last year. He was the best halfback in the comp. I mean, he has one. Well, it wasn't even a horrible game, It was just sort of like, easing back into it.
Yeah.
Just probably a few things didn't go his way, and then everyone's calling him to go back to New South Wales Cup to learn how to play league again. So I'm not too concerned about the halves pairing there. I think they'll sort it out. I was happy to see that Tana Boyd still took the sort of, the brunt of the playmaking. I think he had two try assists, a couple of line break assists as well, and he still had double the kicks and kicking meters as well. So he's still playing as a halfback, and he still showed signs of what he's capable of. But I suppose when your team's losing by, what was it, about 16, 18 points in the end, the stats probably aren't going to look as good for your halfback. But it was good to see that he still was able to sort of have his mark on the game. And when we were up early, I think both those tries were on the back of sort of, he had a hand. He had a direct try assist in one, and I think he had a hand in the other one. A couple of passes back as well.
Yeah, right. No, you're right. Because I mean, when at the start of the game, the tries were scored on the right edge, and it went through the hands of Tanner Boyd and then spread out to Tuapiki, passing on the chance as well. So you're right, and he's still showing that form, isn't he? And it's going good. It's going good. It's just wasn't the day for the team. You can't say it wasn't a day for everybody. It just wasn't a day for the team. And yeah, like I said, it was. When I watched the replay, I was expecting to see bad things just go wrong, but it wasn't the case at all. Like, I mean, I took some notes here. For example, like you look at the first half. For the majority of the first half, Warriors were in control. They had all the possession. The Tigers were giving away so many penalties and so many 6 agains, and we did score some tries off that, obviously. But again, the Warriors weren't able to push through their defense, and because they were down their end quite a lot, and they just weren't able to get through it. Some of the kicks didn't go well, for example. Some of them went a bit too deep, and they were able to catch it, in the end goal, and then Pompey got sin-binned. Pompey got sin-binned for grabbing the ball runner there while Liz was trying to run to the 20-meter mark. So,
did you agree with that? Oh,
it's a bit soft, but technically, he's not allowed to do that because the guy was trying to run to the 20-meter line to tap, and he impeded him. Like technically, it's soft. No, we're not gonna deny that it's soft, but technically, he was in the wrong. So it is. Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you there. I just saw a few people were like, "Oh, that's silly," But yeah, it's silly. Yeah. I don't even know whether it was on purpose. It kind of felt like he sort of did it and then realized.
Yeah, I realized. Oh crap! What have I done? Yeah, because he took his hands off. I think he realized, oh crap, what have I done? So like I said, it's soft. It's extremely soft, but in terms of the rules of the game, he did actually impede the person. It was a foul, so professional foul. So yeah, no complaints there from me. If it was like one of our players doing that and another in the opposition did it to us, the fans would be saying something different. They'd be like, oh, there should have been a penalty. There should have been a sin bin. So no, I don't have issues with that sin bin. I'm guessing you don't as well, as you just said. You don't have any issues with that sin bin either.
No, that's a professional foul, isn't it? You can't do that stuff. Silly,
yeah, what can you do? But yeah, no, look, I don't think, I mean, as much, because, as Warriors fans, we're quite reactive, aren't we? We're quite reactive, like, we lose, it's like, someone's burnt down your house. And, when we win, it's like, you've won lotto. You won the first division lotto. I think that's what they call it.
Powerball.
Yeah, so Powerball is what it's called. Okay, Powerball. Don't play lotto, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, so we're quite reactive with things, and it's just like, guys, come on, chill. It's just one game. We weren't even that bad. Things just didn't gel together on the night. But we've seen in the prior 3 games, we were gelling extremely well. So I expect that to happen again. That'll come back. It's just one off game. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not even worried because it's just one off game. One off game, and we've got a good chance to step back up against a good Sharks side. I mean, the Sharks haven't had the greatest start to the season, but this doesn't mean they're not a strong side. That doesn't mean they're not a strong side. So it'll be good to go over there and pick it up again and start get those combinations going again. Obviously, Luke Metcalf is being retained. He hasn't gone back to New South Wales Cup like everyone else has been asking for, but we'll get into that later on. But anything else you want to take away from that game?
Not really, bro. I think it's just taking the opportunities. I know that there was that DWZ did really well. Got up to a bomb, sort of gathered it and went to go score. And as he was sort of in the process of trying to score it, he knocked it on. And yes, you look at moments like that. You think if it scored that, could have been a 12-point turnaround. As far as how the rest of the game played out. So you just got to take your opportunities. And I'm not freaking out too much at the moment. It was pretty, on the night I was a bit deflated when I saw the score. I was sort of like, I was really quite, like I was quite big on it. And, me and a few of the boys are betting syndicate, and, we had a few, Wires 13 plus bets on, and, we were all like, okay, like I normally don't take Wires 13 plus, but I was like, no, this looks like a good bet, but no, it wasn't to be. So, looking forward to the Sharks game this weekend. Shout out to Jackson Ford topping the tackle count again. So with I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more with Mitch Barnett out for a few weeks. It's good to see Ford still putting up some good numbers and getting physical out there. So
yeah, always can rely on forward by four. So forward 4x4. Sorry, said that wrongly. Said that wrongly. I'm tired as you can see. But anyway, no, I'm with you, and I just think there's nothing to worry about. Like when I saw the score as well, I was like, what the heck? We've just been given a hiding. Things must have just gone wrong. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was after watching it. But I still
and
think
also shout out to Adam. Shout out to Adam Dewey. He had a great game, and it's great to see.
Yep.
He's had a few tough seasons with injuries and all that, but it just shows you when he's on, he can be one of the really one of the best halfbacks in the game. I thought he was exceptional without Luai there as well.
Exactly,
so,
and to be honest with you, it just makes me feel a little bit better in the sense that I feel like my hot take that the Tigers are going to break their finals drought and make it into the top 8 this year makes me feel a bit better, thinking like this could be the case, because I mean, when I put that reel up, there were a lot of people that were like, yeah, I agree, but a lot of people were like, oh, and then you woke up. I can't wait for them to make the top 8. I can't wait for the Tigers to make the top 8. They're not going to go any further than that, but I can't wait to be able to make those comments and say, yeah, I woke up when I woke up and yes, they were in the top 8 and I was right. So just wanted to say that.
I don't think there's many league fans out there that were disappointed to see the Tigers make that. Like they're not really the sort of team that anyone really dislikes. I'm just trying to think of who the big rivalry is there, but like I feel like maybe there'd be a few Parramatta fans that might be a bit salty or something. But I feel like they're a pretty likable team, and everyone loves Benji.
Yep. Who do you reckon is their biggest rival? I mean, you're right, because I thought maybe Parramatta, but then Parramatta's probably Penrith's biggest rival.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who would their biggest rival be. I mean, I don't know if it'd be Souths or something, but I don't think so, because Souths is more Roosters, aren't they? Souths and Roosters are, yeah.
Well, it's out west, isn't it? Which is still kind of Parramatta and.
Well, yeah, it's out west, and then you've got Balmain, which is more west central. Sydney, I think. Yeah, so it's I don't know if they have a genuine rival, but going back to the Roosters, I know we're just quickly talking about other games. Yeah, saw that Cherry Evans getting back to his old fortress at Brookvale. Did you see the sign that they put up? Some of the fans.
I can't remember what it was, but I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it was like DC loves cocks, not birds, or something like that. And talking about Roosters there.
It was a bit sad to see that, really. Like someone who's played over 300 games for the club, and he was getting booed by the fans and all that. I don't think he really wanted to leave, but he was kind of pushed out by the club as well. So, and I told you a few weeks ago, Anthony Seibold, first coach to go.
You did say that. Yeah.
I told you Tuapiki will play last week. I told you that Luke Metcalf will play 6 and Tanner Boyd will play 7. So my takes are going all right at the moment, John.
I think both our takes are going pretty well. You reckon? Both our takes are going pretty well. Yeah, both our hot takes are getting far out. But I agree with you. They shouldn't have booed it, but he took it on the chin because he was on the Matty John show on Sunday and he was just laughing about it. So good on him for just having a laugh about it. So, but saw that. So look, before we get into some other parts of the show, you want to go through your segment, mate? The Wally M's.
Yeah, sure. It's obviously not as joyful as the last few weeks, but I'll try to find some shining lights in that game.
Yeah.
So my 3 points went to Fisher Harris. I thought he's been one of the most consistent in the last few weeks. Probably unlucky not to get more points, but just with the way that Jackson Ford and Tanner Boyd have been playing, I thought once again he was consistent. He was mentioned before the pack was pretty disappointing, but he really was kind of the shining light. I don't know if you remember, there was that big hit he put sort of on maybe 15 minutes out from the game. I think it was another lead up to Nick Klostek's second try. Huge hit, 20 meters out from the Tigers line. Made, I think maybe it was Royce Hunt knocked the ball on. So just moments like that, which could have really turned the game if we'd gone on to get that kick and score another try there, which was good. He had 15 runs for 141 metres, 46 post contact, 28 tackles, and I just had a big boomfire there, which is that. I think he had a couple of big hits like that, forcing errors. So he gets my 3. Tanner Boyd gets my 2. Maybe not the dominance we've seen in the last few weeks, but I think he was still pretty good. As I said before, he kind of had a hand in all 3 tries, a couple of line break assists, a couple of try assists. Still took up the majority of the kicking, kicked pretty well, 15 kicks for 419 metres. And then my 1 point went to Nicholas Klodstad. I thought, that move to centre. I mean, we've been calling for it for a few weeks, so it's cool to see it happen. And I think he did it really well. He's kind of, that right edge has been a bit dodgy defensively, but he seemed to do a really good job there. I don't even know if he had a missed tackle there. A couple of tries, topped the tackle break count with 4 as well. So loved what I saw from them. So he gets my 1. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I was. I had Tanner Boyd at the 3 just because I thought, like you said, he didn't play as well as he has in the last few games, but it doesn't mean he had a bad game at all. He was still, doing his thing, directing the team well. Some of his kicks weren't going to the way he wanted them to, but I still thought he had a pretty good game, and in a team that just looked a little bit deflated after those tries got scored against them in the first half. It was hard to come back from that for their Warriors from there. So Tanner Boyd. I had Jacob Laban having 2. I just thought he had from what I saw, from what I watched, he looked like he had a pretty solid game, got a try. His defense was amazing, and I just like what I see in Jacob Laban. I know we talk him up quite a bit because we like what we see, but I just really, really liking what I see, similar to Eli Katoa, can dive, can jump in the air, and good tackling and good on attack as well. So he got my 2, and Fisher Harris gets my 1, just for the same reasons you were saying, just solid in this game, but unfortunately wasn't able to translate all those performances into a win for the Warriors. But you know what? On to the next, then we'll be fine for the next game. Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, that's the Wally ends. I'm not sure who's winning. Do you know between I think Jackson Ford is clear. Jackson Ford would probably still be winning, right?
Tanner Boyd now probably, because he's just picked up another 5 points. So
true. True.
I did have. Sorry, I've got it here. So what was he? 4, 3, 5. Yeah, no, I figured it out. I haven't actually run down how many points they've all got in total.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure that out. We'll let everyone know on the next show, on the next episode. All right. Well, let's move on to Warriors news. There's been a bit of news going on over the past week, and certain news that was kind of predicted. Some of it wasn't. Some of it was a bit of a shock this morning. We'll start with that one, with Mitch Barnett being ruled out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a thumb injury. I don't know where he actually. I haven't read anything yet because I was just so busy today. But I know that he's been injured and he's out. But I don't know how if he got it on the field or if it was something else, or do you know much about that?
Yeah, I haven't really. I just sort of saw the posts from from the Warriors saying out for 6 weeks. I just presumed that it would happened because I think there was a photo going around yesterday of him, and it was just like an old photo of him in a car. Yeah, slingshot, and then someone would comment on that being like, "Oh, there's a rumor going around that he's got a fresh injury," and I didn't think too much of it at the time. But then I saw the news, was like, "Oh, darn."
I thought it was fake as well. I thought it was fake. Yeah.
Well, I think the slingshot. I think it was just an old photo of something else.
Well, sorry. That's what I mean. I don't mean it was fake. I thought it was just an old photo, like something that was yeah. Nah. So that's unfortunate for Mitch Barnett. I mean, poor bugger, right? Poor bugger, just comes back from injury after how many months, and then this happens to him. So, poor bugger.
Hopefully he doesn't. 2 games in a game.
Hopefully that doesn't impede the possibility of him playing for New South Wales. Do you reckon that will have a big impact on that? Because 6 weeks is quite a long time. By the time he comes back, if it's just say it's 6 weeks, well, he will be back in round 11, which is getting close to sort of origin, So
I mean, according to that timeline, he'll be back sort of mid-March, mid-Mayish, and first origin is normally late May from memory. So definitely could play with that. I mean, yeah, as a New South Wales fan, I'd be disappointed to see him there, but maybe it'll open the door for Jackson Ford. Who knows?
Yep. Who
Who's
knows? Who
who's
knows?
playing some great footy at the moment.
Yep.
And I know it is a bugger, but obviously with Mitch Barnett going, it'll be nice to see the likes of Almaiga and Tennis Smith get some more valuable minutes in the next few weeks as well, so we can kind of get an idea what we're got to look forward to in the next few years with these young boys. But yeah,
Yep.
real shame for him. Was it 2 games back? Was it from that injury?
Yeah, that
From
was
the
the second.
yeah,
This was the second game, the one that
yeah,
against the Tigers. Yeah, so just real unfortunate for him. I mean, imagine that you just come back and then all of a sudden, oh man. But at least it's not something like a serious injury where it's going to take him like a big chunk of the season to recover. He could easily be back in 3 weeks or something. It depends how the recovery
yeah.
goes. Yeah. So let's just fingers crossed that he'll be back sooner rather than later, because it's definitely someone that we need. I mean, on his first game back, the aggression that he showed and the way he went about his business, attacking and defensive wise, just was amazing. If you can pull that off, keep doing that, he's a shoo-in for Origin. But
Mm.
yeah, so unfortunate, Mitch Barnett. We wish you a speedy recovery if you are listening out there. We love you and we think that you're the man, and we wish you were staying at the Warriors, but unfortunately it's not happening. But we'll still wish you a speedy recovery. Next piece of news, RTS, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck signing 2 years on to Wakefield Trinity in the Super League. Initial thoughts?
I think I said it last week. I was like, when there was some rumours that he was going to Super League, I was disappointed, but it kind of, I think the writing was sort of on the wall there, and I think I said, yeah, I'd prefer him go there than go to another Sydney club. I would have been pretty upset to see him running around another NRL club to finish off his career. But you can't really hold it against him, can you? He's probably on a pretty
Nah.
good deal. Yeah, a good opportunity just to try something different while he still can, make a bit of extra cash. And from hearing him talk about it, I don't follow the Super League too closely, but it sounds like they're a decent team and proper shot at winning a title. So yeah, gutted. As I said last week, last couple of weeks we've been talking about this, and he's been such a good asset to the club. One of my favourite Warriors, probably definitely a top 10, maybe even top 5 of all time.
Yeah.
So many good so many good moments. You think of that one against there's been a few. There was a try against the Roosters in one of his first seasons. I think it was in extra time. There was that try saver and Jordan Rapana. Just all those last couple of seasons, how he's sort of changed his game up a lot. He's not so flashy, but just really doing those, doing the hard yards, and went in that run last year where he was, I think he averaged, 300 meters a game for about 5 weeks in a row, which is, pretty unheard of. Well, absolutely unheard of. I think Brian To'o was the only other winger in the game who'd get close to that. So, yeah, going to be a shame to see him go, but just hopeful that the boys can have a good season and send them off with another premiership.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully, this is our year, and that it will not be just sending off RTS, but Mitch Barnett off with a premiership. But look, I mean, I wasn't surprised when the rumors started circling around. As I said in that reel that I did, that you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you kind of figure out this was looming, because when the Warriors sign Mellors, Hazen Mellors, on a 3-year deal, AKP, Pereira on Pereira on a 3-year deal as well. I think it was a 3-year deal, and then at the same time, the rumors about Will Warbrick started to surface, and then you started to go, okay, something's going on here. And then we spoke about it, right? Like, with all these signings and all these signings of the wingers, what's going to happen to Roger? What's going to happen to Dallin? Remember we were speaking about this, because there must be something going on, because Roger was only signed on his last season on his contract was for this season. Dallin's got till 2027. But what's going to happen now? With Dallin, and we'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, no, RTS. I agree with you. Top 5 Warrior. Definitely a club legend. I think he'll be a club legend. And sad to see him go, but totally understand why he's going. He said himself that he just wants a new adventure, a new journey. He's taking his family with him. Just wants to do something different. He's gonna link up with his old boy Jazz Tavanga over there. He's playing for Wakefield over there, so that'll be good for Roger. And I mean, I don't know how much money was involved in it. It doesn't really matter. Good for him. If there's a lot of money involved, which probably is because of Super League, good for him. He still has to make the money for his family. He still has to. A lot of people sometimes don't realize that these guys are professional athletes and that they actually have to make a living as well. And then, people say, "Oh, he's only going for the money." Well, so what? If he's going for the money, just like you would go for a normal job, you would go for the highest bidding, job, go for it. But I think he's done his. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? He's done his time. He's earned his. What he's done in the field. He's won a premiership with the Roosters as well, and I think he even said that he actually got some interest from the Roosters. Post for the season, but he just didn't take it. He just wanted to do something different. So good on him. I think he caught the Warriors off guard though, because I think someone asked Webster about Roger, going to Wakefield Trinity. He didn't even know at the time, because when Roger announced it, he announced it through his brother's YouTube page. Johnny Tuivasa-Sheck. He announced it through there, he did it there, signed up and said, "Yeah, well, I've just signed I've signed a 2-year deal with Wakefield Trinity." And then today, the Warriors team had the Warriors social media team, they put out on Facebook and all that, saying, "Goodbye, Roger. Thanks to Roger. He's going over to Wakefield Trinity." But we already knew it a few days ago, so I think he just took a few people off guard. But good on him.
I did notice that, yeah. I think I saw the Warriors post today, and I was like, I thought I'd seen that a couple of days ago, and then I realized, oh no, that wasn't on the Warriors thing. So yeah, might wonder if the Warriors were a bit salty about that.
I don't know, but usually, I mean, having been a media manager and stuff like that, you'd probably want to know these things are happening. But oh well, it's happened. He's just get on with it. Just get on with it. But so that's
aware of that.
Yeah, exactly. So and the other big news, Will Warbrick signing on to the Warriors on a 3-year deal, starting 2027 all the way to 2029. I think this is a great deal. But look, before we get into this, let's just start a new segment here. Because I know that I'm for this, and I know that you are sort of not. So let's call this segment Richard versus John. But anyway, Richard versus John. Yeah, Richard versus John, and we're gonna go and have a debate about why the pros of Will Warbrick being at the Warriors and you the cons. Because I saw your message on social media. It didn't look like you were happy about this.
I mean, we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. I think you know my thoughts, but I'll dive a little bit deeper for you if you want.
All right. Well, let me kick this off. The reason why Will Warbrick is a good signing is because things that the Warriors have lacked on the wings at times, of recent times, is someone genuinely tall, that he's got a long reach, strong, really good in the aerial battle in terms of attack and defense. He's got all of that. And he's fast. What more do you want in a winger? And I think he's got all of that. And he's been playing for a great team. He just he got a second 4-try haul, even though they lost to the Cowboys. He scored 4 tries. He's still got it. He's going to bring it over, and he's going to do the same thing. So yeah, that's my first point. Bring it.
I'm concerned that he's a late convert to the sport. Obviously, he played a bit of AFL and sevens before coming to league. He has been in the comp since 2023, but I feel like he's still got a lot to learn. I think he's 27, so he's not exactly a spring chicken in the NRL terms. And I worry that he's a bit one-dimensional as a player. You talk about how he's sort of like he's fast and all this. He hits the ball up, but he doesn't have much flashiness. I worry that you talk about him being in a good system at the moment. I think that he's going to get found out once he leaves that good system, and I don't know whether the Warriors system will work for his style of play.
Nah, I mean, maybe he does hit it up a lot, but it works for him because he scored 43 tries and 60 appearances. He's had 60 appearances since he joined in the NRL, and he has scored 43 tries. He averages 150 meters per game, throughout his league career so far. And just this season alone, he's averaging 170 meters per game. So he's actually getting better. And he's going to get even better with the Warriors. I think it's a great asset for the Warriors, especially where you got Mellors as well, being another tall guy there. So I think it's a great signing. I think it's a great signing.
Yeah, I just don't know if a winger is what we need. I think we're more need of an elite centre, and I've talked about this a lot recently. I think defensively there's some real issues there. A lot of people are like, we can't play Camper at the moment because defensively he's got issues. I think that Warbrick has been found out defensively and also his position on the field. And it comes back to the fact that he's not a natural league player. He's, bit of a glory whore as they say. Playing X amount of different sports. So I mean, look, I'd be happy to be proved wrong, but I'm not sure that he's the right fit for the Wires at the moment and what we really need. And I don't know what we're spending on him, but I'm sure we're paying overs. I'm 100% sure we're paying overs on him.
All right. Well, the stats don't lie, mate. 42 tries and 60 appearances, as I just said. Averages, averaging at the moment.
Good for a winger, though?
Hey?
Is that even that good for a winger?
I think so. I mean, it's it's not. It's just under one try a game. I think it's pretty good.
It's quite a bit under one.
It means he's a good finisher. He's a good finisher. When he gets a chance, he takes it. And I reckon, like I said, he scored a 4-try haul against the Cowboys the weekend. Even though it was a losing game, he still scored 4 tries. He knows how to put the ball on the try line. He knows how to do it. He knows how to do it.
It's the job of a winger, bro.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean all of them. But it doesn't mean they're all successful though. He is successful. He does it really well.
Like, I don't know whether that stats that impressive, to be honest, for a winger.
Oh, come on. So how many meters per game should a winger be doing?
Well, Roger was, doing 300 a game last season. Yeah. So maybe
was he averaging 300 through the whole season though, or was it just a few games where he did 300?
It was about a 2-month period, I feel like.
Oh, all right, okay. But I still think it's a really good signing. And look, I know he wasn't. I think I saw some comments saying that he was pushed out of the system, but he wasn't. I mean, it was more about him wanting to come home. I think he was a bit homesick.
Yeah, I mean, I see that the Storm have signed Jermaine Osako, and I think there'd be a lot more value in someone like Osako. I think he's got a more well-rounded game and proven himself more than what Warbrick is. So there's probably a reason why the Storm have picked up Osako and got rid of Warbrick.
Well, I don't think they got rid of him. I just think that I think Warbrick would have told them that I'm leaving, I want to go home, and then so they were on the market for another winger. That's what I reckon is happening because they actually got a few people leaving now. Meany's going as well. He's going to the Bears, I think. Meany as well.
They've had a big purge, but they've still got Hughes and Munster and Grant and Faialogo, so they'll still do all right.
Yeah, they will. But look, if I had to choose between Jermaine Osako and Will Warbrick, I'd probably go with Osako as well. I'll probably go with but he obviously didn't want to come home where Warbrick wants to come home. And Osako has got a good kicking game. The arsenal that he has is that he's got a kicking game. He can kick. He's got a really good kicking game. So, but in terms of this debate, I think we all going to agree that Will Warbrick is a good signing.
He's not a good signing. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, he's a good signing. Oh, no, we're not going to agree. We're not going to agree on each other with this one. But okay, I tried to give that a go.
There might be a poll coming on Facebook. Look out.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good idea. Let's do it. But I was expecting you to say Will Warbrick sucks or something, just to start to kick it off. I thought you were going to go straight into it like that.
I think he's good in the Melbourne system, but I just have my questions and it's happened to a lot of players who've left Melbourne and not been able to keep up their dominance. We've had big wingers in the past, and I suppose you look at the likes of sort of Manu, and that was good. But since then, we've had a few big boys that haven't really gone on to do much. Fustua, Billy Tupou, who was the guy that went to Tigers, Mamolo, and all that. They've had some of these big boys that haven't quite lived up to the expectation. and to really utilize the height of a big winger. You need to have your kicking game on point, So I think the way
Yep.
Boyd's playing at the moment, he probably could service that, but we don't know whether
Yep.
Boyd will be there next
Well,
year or who half. So
that's a good point because it is up to the halves to get the ball to him from kicks. And it's also up to the halves and the inside men to feed him that ball as well. Like just usually when they're on, in the attacking set plays, halfback usually cut out man goes usually gets to the fullback, and the fullback is usually the one that will feed off to the centre. And the centre either will score or he'll pass to the wing. So it's up to his inside men to feed him that ball as well. If it's a through the ball thing, through the
yeah.
hands sort of type thing. So yeah, I agree with you there. But in terms of your what you were saying about a centre, I do agree we do need a centre, someone that we could just. And I mentioned this as well to you recently, is that I think we might get that through the whole trade situation with Barnett, but I haven't heard anything since. There's all these rumors about this person coming, and it's just sort of stalled for a bit. Well, we all know that Barnett's joining the Broncos, but the deal won't be sealed until they've agreed to a certain player. Correct?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the sort of terms are there, but I know that there's been some talk. Obviously, Grant Anderson his name was thrown around a bit, which was a player who has left Melbourne and probably hasn't been able to leave his mark on Brisbane. But
Yeah.
I think he could be a good sign for the Warriors. But he's also, I think he got injured on the weekend. He's out for about 6 weeks. So, yeah, we'll just have to watch this space because I can't see them giving away the likes of Staggs or Shibasaki. So it might be someone like Anderson or Jesse Arthurs. I know that you've mentioned his name a couple of times. Who'd been at the Warriors and done a job before. So we'll see what happens there.
The other thing is whether they want to come to New Zealand or not as well. It's a big thing.
They can always just leave on compassionate grounds. So
as is always the case. But before we move into the tipping, mate, I just want to ask you one more thing. Going back to the Warbrick thing, because we are now getting a bit of an exodus of of wingers coming our way, or we've got some as well right now. What does this mean for DWZ? Because look, he's got another year on his contract to go. I think it's a mutual agreement one where he can take it up. But do you think? I mean, someone asked me this question: where does this leave Dallin? And I just said, he might be in a position where he might think I might leave as well, like on his own terms. Like he might go find looking for another club because I think with all these wingers being signed up, he probably won't have a contract post 2027. I'm not saying if he's good enough, maybe they might extend him if he plays well. But if it's it's hard to tell when they're signing all these outside backs. Do you extend Dallin and or does he want to secure his future by maybe putting himself out there saying, oh, maybe I'll go to another club that will want me on a 2 or 3 year deal. Do you get what I mean? Sort of thing. Whereas he's only got a 1 year deal with the Warriors. So, will the internal competition sort of get to him in the sense of and think, oh, I might have to go somewhere else?
Well, I mean, the way that Andrew Webster picks his team, I mean, he's still probably going to pick Dallin over Will Warbrick, isn't he? He just seems to always
know about that.
He just seems to constantly pick Dallin, and it doesn't matter what form he's in. If he's fit, then he plays. So, but no. In all honesty, I think you're right. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Super League. To be honest, I feel like I don't know what he's on at the moment. I know at one point he was on stupid money at the Warriors, and like he was good, but I mean it was on just no winger should have been on the money that he was on. I think he was on like 800,000 for a couple of years, which is just far too much for a winger. He's probably still on a pretty decent wage. We've seen sort of a few glimpses of what he's what he's capable of this season so far, but I don't think we're seeing consistent enough form to say like you want to start him over. You want to have him in that starting rotation if these other 3 guys are fit. I don't know, there's a couple of other young guys coming up the club as well. So, yeah, I reckon it's off to Super League he goes as well.
Yeah, it is an interesting one because, like, if he does have a good season, it'll make the Warriors think, oh, do we extend his contract? But then it just leaves a lot of other players fighting for another spot. With Roger going, there's a spot vacant. and you got Warbrick, you got Mellors, you've got AKP as well, all fighting for a spot and stuff. And I don't think that those players, like for example, I don't think they're all going to want to stay in New South Wales Cup forever. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting. So, but I have a feeling, and not because I think Dylan's not good enough. I'm just saying that I have a feeling that because, like we were talking earlier, it's a professional sport, and they've got families. They want to secure their future. If he hasn't been extended, beyond 2027, he might get offers about somewhere else that will secure his future, and he might want to take that because you can't take you don't want to take chances, do you? You don't take chances with you. So I have a feeling that might happen, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, let's move into the tips, mate. Do you want to give us a little bit of an overview of what's going on with the tips?
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a tough week in the tips. I don't know how you went. I only got 4, which
Yep.
obviously a few upsets. The Wilds going down, the Bulldogs losing to the Knights, the Storm losing to the Cowboys, and there was another upset as well.
Bulldogs
I think
lost to
Knights.
who the Bulldogs
Yeah,
lost
but
to?
I think
Knights,
there's
yeah.
another one. I'm trying to think, something happened. So the Rex won. He's our current winner. He's on 24 points. Personally, I'm on 5th equal on 21, so I'm pretty happy with that. And John's just slipping further down the ladder every week. It's 37th equal this week.
I'm going to stop
with 18 points. So he's 3 points off myself, 6 points off the leader.
It's still too close, isn't it? Oh, sorry, it's still too early to like make a big surge in the tipping comp at the moment. But like 4 rounds, but like, for example, I had a bad round. I actually decided to have a go. Like, I put Dolphins to win. I just thought they might just do it. I did it as a hope that most people will vote for will go for Broncos and Dolphins get the upset, and then but it didn't happen that way. Like my wife was laughing at me because she doesn't know nothing about league, and she was beating me in the comps, and she was beating me in the tipping comps, and it's just she knows nothing about league, and she's beating me. Well, the sole reason she joined the tipping comp was because she wants to beat me. She says, "I'm gonna beat you, even though I know nothing about league. I'm gonna beat you." And I'll be very embarrassed if it happens because like I said, she doesn't even know nothing about league, but she's picking the right teams. So
yeah. You can't let that happen, bro. You cannot let that happen.
Cannot let it happen, exactly.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there who's doing NRL tipping and wants to get involved, the comp is still open. The code is NMWZ. Start again. NMW0GYH6. The name is Cats Warriors. That's on NRL.com. So just have a look on the blurb for if listening on Spotify. I'll try to remember to put the code in the blurb on YouTube and wherever else you might be listening. But yeah, obviously the Rex one, shout out to you. We will have some prizes for the winner later in the season, so keep an eye on that there.
Nice, bro. I'm glad that we're doing this. It's going pretty well at the moment, isn't it? You've got a few punters in there, which is really good to see. But
yeah, it's good fun.
I can't wait to win it. Anyway, let's go back to this. Go for the team selection for round 5 versus the Sharks. Yeah, round 5 against the Sharks. The team is pretty much exactly the same as it got picked against the Tigers, except for obviously Barnett's been omitted because of his thumb injury, and Jackson Ford goes back to starting. Oh, he was starting already, wasn't he? And Barnett came off the bench. Is that what happened? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So basically, I think Valmanga comes back in for Barnett. That's the way it is. So I'll read the team out. So Tuapiki, fullback. One of the wings is Dallin, DWZ. Chance, Nickel Clockstad goes into one centre. Pompey has the other centre spot. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has one wing. The combination of Metcalf and Boyd in the halves, with Metcalf taking 5'8", Boyd taking halfback, Fisher Harris and Ford in the front row, Egan at number 9. And then the second row is Halasima and Laban. I like that. And Aaron Clark at 13. And the bench, 14 Healy, 15 Yokure, 16 Vaiamonga, 17 Tanastoa Smith. 18th man is Harris Tavita, and then you've got just the other impact players because of the whole 6-man bench thing. There's um Eddie Iremia Toiava, sorry, Morgan Gannon, and Cam Pereira and Leatoa. So honestly, bro, the other funny thing is that even though I've been thinking that there is someone better than Harris Tavita that should be in 5A, I kind of feel sorry for him. Because he's like you've said, you've been saying over the past few weeks, he hasn't been playing that badly, and now he's not even in the 17. You know what I mean?
He scored 2 tries last time we played against the Sharks in last season. We beat them 40-10. He had a great game. Yeah, I mean, I still think he adds more value as a utility as Healy does, but I suppose as 18th man, he could very easily still, like we've seen with Tuapiki the other week, where Chance went down early and Tuapiki had went out the back and did a good job. I wasn't expecting to play, so he's a very handy person to have on the bench. And I won't be, if there's someone goes down in the halves, if the fullback goes down, if a lock goes down, if a hooker goes, he can still play hooker if he needed to. Yeah. So, I'm not so, good to see him there. I'm interested that we haven't really seen much of Morgan Gannon so far. Like, I'm surprised that they're still going with Nuakore. I thought that he was sort of on the outer, but obviously he's doing something that they like having him from the impact off the bench. He seems to have bulked up a little bit, but once again, I don't really get the point of sort of signing this young guy from Super League just for him to play, be on the New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, well, he was unlucky, wasn't he? Because he got
who's quite clearly not going to resign. I'd be so surprised if they resign him next season.
But with Gannon,
and even with Halasima and Laban starting in second row together, I love them both, but I don't know whether I'd be doing that. I think I might prefer to see maybe Gannon starting, see what we can get out of him, and then it would obviously mean you have to move someone off the bench, probably Nuakore, judging by what I said before. But I'm not.
We never know.
So.
Well, I mean, Gannon, he got concussion. That's why he had to miss out last week, because he did start in the week before, but he got early in the game he was out, and he's got a history of concussions. He's got a big long history of concussions. So hopefully this is not another instance of Wade Egan's where he just keeps getting concussed, and because he's still quite young, as you said, but Webster's been playing tricks this season, just before an hour before kickoff or 24 hours before kickoff, he's rotating the side really quickly. Have you noticed that? He's changing things up quite a bit, so you never know what's going to happen. So this is the team that the Warriors have come out, which they have to do every Tuesday at 6 p.m. New Zealand time, but don't know if this will be the actual team that runs out onto the field come Sunday. So
good point. That's a good point.
Yep. Anyway, mate, should we just wrap things up by just give a quick preview about what you think what we need to do in this game against the Sharks, who are like I said, they haven't had the best start, but they're still a strong side.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off a pretty good win against the Raiders. The Raiders have sort of been a bit up and down, but I think the Sharks sort of taken a lot out of that. Never easy to go to Shark Park, although we have won the last 2 games over there, which is a good thing for the Warriors. The last game was that year 40-10 win. I think it was the week after Barnett went down, and there was alarm bells running, and we were like, oh, maybe we'll be all right. It was just like the most unexpected performance of the season, pretty much.
It was awesome.
On the points. But obviously coming up against Whenua Blake, the old former Wā, another fellow compassionate grounds man. And then you look through that back line, there's plenty of excitement there. You got like Katoa and Stone Street, some real pace on the wings. Jesse Ramium and Kale Ero in the centres. So there's definitely I think the centres in particular will have a bit of a game on their hands, and that's why I quite like seeing Chance in there. He just defensively just tightens it up a little bit. You got Will Kennedy at the back, who's sort of just one of those sort of battlers who just does his job well and always seems to just sort of poke his head through where you don't expect it. So, and then obviously your boy Nico Hines at 7, looking as Fabio as ever.
I like that.
But yeah, I mean, so this is the Sharks is a funny team. They've been like this for the last sort of 2 or 3 seasons. You sort of like, I'm not quite sure what it is there, but they're never far off. And you know, this game could go either way. But I think after the disappointment against the Tigers, I think the Warriors they'll want to bounce back from that, and I think they will.
Well, the key for
I'm
me
not going to
is
say 13 plus this week. I'm just going to
Yep.
say, you know, we'll scrape through.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, I was going to say, like, I agree with you that you never know what you're going to get with the Sharks, but it comes down to how Nico Hines plays on the day, Fabio plays on the day, because if he's on, he's on. If he's either really hot or really cold. There's no sort of like, you know, middle part, you know, where he's warm. There's no warm Nico Hines. It's either he's either really hot on form or he's just really cold. That's how I always have seen him, and so it depends which Nico Hines turns up on the day. To be honest, in my opinion, anyway. But look, I'm looking forward to this game. I look how you summed that up, mate. I think we'll win as well. I'll give it a 1 to 12 as well. I'm thinking we're going to win by 8 points. Do you want to give us a more specific number?
I will say that we will win 28-22.
28-22. Nice. Yeah. Like it. I like that.
I think there'll be a few points. Sunday Arvo. Hopefully the weather's nice. First Sunday game of the year, is it? Must be.
I think so. We've had a few Fridays, haven't we? We've had about 3 Friday games. Friday games, yeah.
Saturday. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. I love a good Sunday Arvo on the couch. You know, just good way to sort of say sayonara to the weekend, isn't it?
Yep. No, I like that too. All right, mate. Unless you have anything else to say, shall we wrap it up from there?
No, mate. That's it for me. Up those wires, baby.
Yep, up the wires. And thank you, Richard, for agreeing that Warbrick is a good signing. Anyway, we will put a poll out. Okay. And do you think that people are gonna say it's a good signing, or do you think people are gonna oppose it?
I think that people will say it's a good signing.
Good.
Because people are sheep.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening in to another episode of Couch Warriors. We love doing this, and we are so thankful for the support that we're getting. You know, we're seeing the numbers grow when it comes to, you know, subscriptions, and also people coming on Spotify as well. That keeps growing, and we're really thankful that, you know, people are tuning in, because we love doing this, and we're loving that people are actually enjoying this as well. But yeah, so we still need those numbers to grow as well. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, give us a like as well. You know, let us know if you want, you know, if there's something else you want us to talk about on the show. Just let us know. We're also on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram as well. So yeah, just give us a comment, give us a like, give us a follow, and help us grow this platform, because we really love doing this. So for now, let's see the Warriors get into the Sharks and get back onto the winning streak. So for now, have a good night, everybody. Up the wires.
We've got the faith. Up the wires, baby. Choo choo.